Okay, we are recording. Ugh. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Command Point. My name's Ryan, and today I'm here with Shane.
Hello.
And
Hi.
yeah, hello. And today we're doing our quarterly Kill Team tier list review. Um, there's been a couple different changes. A couple different factions have come out since the last tier list that we did. So we thought now would be as good a time as any to do another tier list.
Yeah, it's the spring edition. It's about time.
Yeah.
I know the people have been clamoring for
Yeah.
more tier lists.
So we've got a lot of teams to get through, so let's just jump right into it. Shane, we're gonna start off here with one of your favorite teams, the
Ooh, which
Demons.
one?
The Demons.
Ah, yes. I love my demons. That still hasn't changed. I love them. Um, yeah, demons are I think they're in a very middle of the pack place.
Yeah.
Um, like nobody plays them pretty much, but me lately, it
Yeah.
feels. Nobody thinks they're good. And needless to say, I mean, they definitely have problems with the roster, but I think it's kind of like I think the public opinion has maybe gotten a little too low on them just because of the roster problems and the fact that they're compendium. They still have 12 activations. All of their models are still pretty good. I mean, I guess you could say demonettes maybe aren't. I mean,
Yeah.
the blue horrors are not good.
Yeah.
But plague bears, pink horrors, and bloodletters are all fantastic. And depending on how you want to spec in to the team, you can run a pretty competitive list against most things in the game, even like the really good teams, because you're actually not getting out activated, which very few teams can say.
hmm
It's really hard to be a bad team and have like 12 activations. So I'd say they're like a B tier for me personally.
Probably like low B they'll wind up.
I think like mid B.
Yeah.
I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah, that's safe. Next up we have the Asuryani.
Ooh, Craft World.
Yeah. Um, I
They're a
wanna.
lot better than they used to be.
That is true. That is
Way
true.
better than they used to be.
They're
The
like,
buffs were actually huge.
yeah, they're two more bodies better,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, which is really good. Doesn't sound like a lot, but,
No.
I mean, the difference between, having 9 activations and having 11 or 10 and 12, it's pretty big. I still don't think I mean, they're not, like, moving they're not shaking the meta,
No.
but, you can play with your Craft World models and, not get totally humiliated against every team in the game, which I guess I don't know. I messed around with them a little bit after the buffs to varying degrees of success. Um, Whereas before it probably would have been 0 degrees of success. So
Sounds like
I see them, yeah.
sounds like
What do you
D
think?
tier. D tier.
I think they're C tier. I don't think they're D tier at all.
What? C tier is supposed to be like a middling team.
I think they are. I think they're a
Yeah?
middling team.
Okay.
Yeah, personally.
We'll put them there for now. Speaking of middling teams, the Drakari.
Yeah. Just
I'm
what do you think?
super low on Drakari. I think there's teams out there that just play better than them. From the looks of things, I feel like the Void Scarred can play better than them, and the Void Dancers I think play better than them. So just
Well, the void dancers play better than most teams.
yeah. So I
To
mean
be fair.
like yeah.
Um I think that Craft or not Craft World, Comrades, I think they're called.
hmm
They are to me like kind of a better version of Craft World. They can't take quite as many bodies, but I think they are just better. Um, we're not that detached from like a top 8 at LVO, I think they had.
Yeah.
To me, they're still like a B team, but like I think they're a low B team. I
Yeah.
think demons are better
Okay.
than Comrades. So that's just me.
So next up we have just plain old Harlequins,
Oh,
not
we have
the
a place for them.
yeah, straight to the
If
Shadow
you
Realm.
Yeah, yeah, direct your eyes to the Shadow Realm, and we've got a few teams joining them. So, I mean, the Shadow Realm is for teams that don't they might as well not exist anymore.
Yeah.
Like, we're not even gonna bother ranking them, and there are some teams that are on the cusp of being on the Shadow Realm that are not quite there, and I mean, again, we'll get to it, but yeah, Troop is irrelevant.
Yep.
I mean, yeah, if you took Void Dancer out of the game, Troop is excellent, but, we're at the point where GW is all but telling us, "Don't play this team."
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So next team up is just the Greenskins, the good old boys,
Ah,
the Greenskins.
they
They rock.
I think they're another mid-tier team. Um, they have a lot of bodies. They're
Hmm.
very similar to demons, I think.
Yeah.
Um, I think they present less challenges than demons. I think back when the game came out, um, you know, that many 10 wound bodies was harder to deal with. I think as the game as more teams have come out, there's more stuff that can deal with that. There's killier teams out there.
Yeah.
Just like running around with 10 wounds isn't quite enough anymore. Uh, but they are decent, and they're another B tier. I feel like we're just
Yeah.
loading up the B tier, but that's the middle of the pack.
Yeah. So above demons for sure.
Oh, I don't think so.
What?
I don't
Okay.
think so.
All
Maybe I'm
right.
biased.
All
Maybe I
right.
love my demons.
I don't
I
know.
think demons are
I
better.
think the thing is I think the thing
Oh,
is
go
that
ahead.
you've played demons so much. I mean, you've played both of these teams a
I've
lot
played, yeah.
actually.
As
So
somebody,
I
yeah. There's,
think yeah, I'll defer to you here.
yeah. I mean, if there's anybody out there that has played a more greenskin plus demon games like together, let me know because
There
I
definitely
haven't
is
found them.
not. There definitely is not.
Yeah.
Um next we have the Necrons.
Yeah, they also got buffed. So I mean, this is the first time we've ranked Necrons since the data slate. They were given 4 or 5 damage instead of 3 4 on the flayed ones, and reanimation protocol is now free
Mhm.
once per turn instead of 1 CP once per turn. So pretty big changes. What do you think?
I don't know. I really don't have that much experience playing either with or against the Necrons since their rules update. So, I mean, what tier did we have them at the last time?
We had them at
Probably
D,
D, right?
and
So,
I jumped them up quite a bit
I w-
after the
yeah,
buffs.
I would say at a minimum they're probably C.
Yeah, at bare minimum, I like them at B.
Yeah.
I think they're better than greenskins. I don't think they're better than
Okay.
demons or comrades, but I think it's pretty close between all those teams.
Okay.
I would probably put Necrons above greenskins just because I think the matchup is good for Necrons, relatively speaking.
Sure.
I don't know though. It's tough.
Next up here we have got not Pathfinders, the Tau Hunter Clade or Hunter Cadre.
Hunter Cadre, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So earlier I said that there are some teams that are on the cusp of being
Mhm.
in the Shadow Realm.
Yeah.
This is like the definition of that for me.
Mhm.
If you're playing this team, you're playing stealth suits. Um, Stealth suits are awful. It's as a 6
Yeah.
model team, it's really bad, and like splashing stealth suits, like a fire team of 3 with like whatever else you're bringing, also really bad. Um, I
Sounds
just don't. Yeah.
yeah, it
What do
sounds
you? What are,
well, it sounds like F tier to me.
I think they're F tier.
Yeah.
I think they're horrible. Like, I'm not going to bother talking about that team in terms of like if you're running a bunch of Pathfinders or Fire Warriors or something, you're running a way worse version of
Exactly.
Pathfinder
Yeah.
from Chelnath, and yeah, bad F tier.
Yep. Next we have the Kroot. So the
Oh,
Kroot are cool.
they're cool.
They're cool.
Um, they honestly, I don't think any team has gotten more worse just like organically through the meta, because like there's other teams that I think I've like lowered on a lot just because like Compendium Tau. they were kind of made obsolete and they kind of sucked anyway, but
Yeah,
and like, Trader Space Marines have been made obsolete. But Crew, I think, has actually like the teams that have come out, like they're stronger elite teams now, which is the one thing Crew really struggle against. They're like that weird team where they're actually worse against elites. And what just happened? Every elite team got another body. A bespoke elite team came out, and Crew already are worse than the other shooty hordes and like the mid-sized teams.
yeah, for
So
sure.
what is going on with Crew? I think Crew are either F tier or D. I would put them above
They're
um
definitely above
the
the
Tau.
stealth suits. Yeah.
But it's like I can't put a team in F tier if they have 12 activations. I can't justify that.
So
So how about
D,
D?
that makes it easy.
Yeah, too many
Next,
models.
yeah. Next up, we have got the Hive Fleets. We got Tyranids here. Tyranids are still pretty good.
Mhm.
Um, I feel like they
Yeah,
are caught up in a weird space these days. A lot of people. It's like so many people are just like running like crack grenade spam in terms of equipment, and that's like super duper effective. Um, they I think they can compete with some of the top tier teams, but you need to really be aware of like you just need to be aware of like what the top teams can do to your team, really.
yeah, they're definitely a bit outclassed by a lot of the top teams.
Yeah. Like we were
Um,
scared of them initially when the game first came out because it's like, "Oh my god, these gene sealers, you can never shoot them because of their hidden horror ability. They've got 9 wounds, 5 up in vuln save." But it's like as the game has progressed, they're just not that scary anymore.
I agree. Um,
We're like overloading, but like I'd say like B, B or
yeah,
B or like bottom of A.
I don't think they're A. I think there's too much
Yeah,
bespoke running around.
yeah.
Um,
What do you think in B?
I mean, do you think they're better than demons?
I mean, you just played them this past weekend and you beat them
Yeah.
with demons, so I want to say no.
And I think I don't know, demons are kind of underrated. I think demons are better than Tyranids, but
Okay, we'll
people
put
are
them
going to
there.
hear me say that and be like, "What is
Yeah,
this
they're
guy
gonna
talking
freak
about?
out.
Demons." But call it bias, call it whatever you want. I think demons are better.
Sure. All right,
By
so
the end of this tier list, there's going to be a lot of teams above demons, so I think people
yeah,
might forget.
yeah.
So, uh,
We've got the Gene Stealer cults.
which one?
The not Wormblade.
Okay, Brood Covens.
Yeah,
So this team, I would not say is on the verge of being a Shadow Realm because Acolyte hybrids and Metamorph hybrids exist, and it's really different from Wormblade. Honestly, like I would say, Wormblade is it's almost strictly a shooty team. Like with you've got a couple melee options with the cult agents, whereas this team can actually be like a full melee horde, and I don't think they're very good. Maybe like a while back before all these other teams came into the meta. But they're a team that nobody's playing right now. Probably nobody's going to play for a while, but there
yeah.
is a reason to play them. Um, I think they're worse than Buffed Craft World, but
Okay.
I don't think they're D tier. I think maybe
Yeah,
C
yeah.
personally. I don't know.
Sounds good to me.
Okay.
Next up, we have the tried and true, still number one reigning champions in my book, the Veteran Guard. This team is they're just too good. They've made it through multiple like nerf cycles, I guess, balance cycles, unscathed relatively. In fact, the sergeant got buffed, or really, um, his ability to hit with the plasma pistol just like got better, which really like
Oh,
it
I
got
think that was
fixed. That was
misprint.
just a fix. Yeah, it was a
Yeah.
misprint. So yeah, S plus plus.
Yeah, I think they might be the best team in the game. Probably, they are just so good. The
Yeah.
14 bodies is insane. Being able to take the extra troopers and give them crack grenades, you'll never take ancillary support
No.
because that is better than any ancillary support you can get.
Hmm.
If you weren't able to put equipment on the extra guys, there would maybe be a choice because to me, they're just supposed to be like bodies, like
Yeah.
warm bodies.
Hmm.
But when you give them crack grenades, you're actually adding 3 threats to your team, and that's a no-brainer.
Yeah.
Um, and you add that to I think the demo mine is extremely stupid to play
So
against.
so powerful.
And it's also like I think that's the dumbest model in the game, not in terms of like balance. Well, in terms of balance, I think it's one of the best. But just like there's so many things that it can do that it probably shouldn't be able to do, and there's things that it can't do that it probably should be able to do. Like it can plant the mine on the other side of a wall, like a wall, just a flat wall.
Yeah, that doesn't make any sense to me.
It can blow something up on the other side of a wall that's, um, that's like engaged, that's 3 inches away. That doesn't make sense to me.
No.
But it can't hit people in combat. It can't hit your own guys because it's a shooting attack. And it's not like a lot of people think it's like a blast, basically, where it just hits everything from a radius, but it's treated as just a shooting attack from the mine with 3-inch range. So, following the rules of shooting attack, you can't shoot your own guys. You can't shoot guys in combat, even though it's an explosion. So, like, there's things it can
Yeah.
do that it shouldn't be able to. There's things it can't do that it should be able to. And at the end of the day, it's still too strong. 5, 6 damage, hits on twos. You give that guy an APL after he's activated on turn one, and then turn two, he's just got a 10-inch kill anything bubble. I,
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's way too powerful. That model needs a serious rework.
Yes.
And yeah, like you said, I don't think that the ancillary support, or not the ancillary support, I don't think that the 4 extra troopers should be able to be equipped with any sort of equipment because
Hmm.
it's just dumb easy. Or maybe crack grenades just need to be looked at. Period. I don't know.
Why not both?
Great, great. Yeah, yeah. All right. So next up, part two of the Octarius box, we have got the Commandos.
Oh yeah,
I like the Commandos.
me too.
Unfortunately, on 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 some certain terrain layouts, um, I think they go from like A tier, potentially S tier, like down to like
Like a
C
B.
tier. Yeah,
I wouldn't say C. That's
uh,
too much for me.
I maybe
It's
I
just
don't.
yeah,
Maybe
it's
maybe
just
I'm just salty. Maybe I'm just salty.
I think you
Definitely
are.
B tier at least.
I think they're A tier. I think that they are a long cry from what they once were, where
Yeah,
it seemed like they were like the second, third best team in the game.
yeah. The
They've gotten
dynamite
a couple
nerf.
nerfs. Yeah,
Hmm.
the Dakadash nerf in conjunction with Dynamite, and then they limited Dynamite, I think, or something. And
Yes.
maybe I think the Dakadash thing was a good nerf. I don't know about the double Dynamite. I don't think many people are doing that anyway, but
No.
that option is gone now. I think they're really balanced.
Yes.
Honestly, I think that if every team in the game was on the same power level as Commandos are right now, we would have a very balanced game. They're not as good as they used to be, but you can absolutely win a tournament with them,
Hmm.
and I think they're in a really good place. So they're for me, they're A tier.
Yeah, I think that's fair. All right. So next up, we have got the Hunter Clade. Yes, the Hunter Clade. Uh, so yeah, I mean they're okay, right? They're okay.
Yeah, I think that they get a lot of crap because when they came out, they were the first White Dwarf team. They were
Yeah.
the first team after Octarius, where you have these two Octarius teams that are like crazy cool and different and like thematic. And then Hunter Clade comes out, and it's just like, oh, it's Admech again
Yeah.
with like better rules. And they weren't like immediately blowing anybody out of the water. But I think they are a good team, and I think they get too much. flack personally. I've heard people say they should be buffed. I don't agree with that at all. I think they're in a really similar spot to Commandos, what we were
Mhm.
just talking about in my eyes, where I think that they are really balanced. And I think maybe there's a few teams in this game that are not balanced that you look at that team and you look at Clade and you almost think Clade is the problem. Or I don't think Clade is the problem. I think Clade's in a really good spot. That being said, I think they're A tier,
Yeah,
but below I think they're worse than
below
Commandos.
Commandos, yeah, for sure.
Yeah. For what it's worth, I think that Clade has a good matchup against Commandos, but I don't think they're better
Yeah.
overall.
So we have got the Warp Coven up next.
Ooh,
Yeah,
they're good.
yeah, they're good. They're really, really good. Once you get a
Yeah.
handle on the psychic powers and kind of just like, I mean, really, that's it. Once you get a handle on the psychic powers and you kind of figure out which matchups you want to be taking a lot of Zangors versus a little Zangors, you can roll with them.
Mhm.
I think they're better than Commandos.
I think so too. I just think there's a few more weird like oddities that you have to deal with
Yeah,
against Warp Coven compared to Commandos, which are a little bit more honest to play against.
yeah.
Um, I mean they've got just a scratch, but the tar pit is just such a problem for
It,
some teams.
yeah, very oppressive.
Um, I think that Warp Coven are largely balanced. From like a design perspective, I think at worst they're kind of annoying to play against.
Yeah.
Maybe a little too annoying to play against. I don't know how you'd fix that though. But I'd say they're an S tier team,
Okay.
personally.
Yeah.
Low S, like barely S tier,
Oh
but
yeah. Yeah.
I think they're better than
They're
Commandos.
gonna get bumped down here, by the novitiates.
Oh yeah.
uh,
Really good team.
Novitiates are really good. Are they? So I mean, like we already have a team in S plus plus. Do you think that this team is on the same level, or do you think that they're a tier below Vanguard?
I think my scope on the current meta is that we have like a trifecta of teams at the very top
Okay.
that are really dominant. Um, and I think novitiates are one of those three teams. And I don't know, they're just like the faith point stuff is crazy good. They can just force so much.
Mm-hmm.
Um, yeah, I think they're very very good. And I don't think they're better than Vetguard though. I think Vetguard are the best team in the game right now. And I think novitiates are up there, an S plus plus tier, personally.
All right. So you said there were three teams that are basically
Yeah.
running the meta right now. Pathfinders has got to be the next one, right?
Yes, Pathfinders is the next one, which that alone is going to upset some people because I'm sure there's another team on here that people are looking at that people are complaining about right now
Mm.
that we're going to get to later. But
Mm-hmm.
yes,
Mm-hmm.
so post nerf, I see Pathfinders as being S plus plus still. I think that they are ahead of novitiates still. I think
Okay.
they're slightly just a hair behind Vetguard. Um, the nerfs were huge in terms of it was really good steps towards making the team more balanced, and worthy cause needed to have something done about it.
Yeah.
And the marker lights I think needed to be changed. I'm glad they got changed. But I mean, I did say way back when that if you nerfed worthy cause, I think they'd still probably be the best team in the game. And they nerfed worthy cause and they nerfed marker lights. So I don't think they're the best team in the game, but I think they're really, really close to being the best team. And at the end of the day, it's still 12 to 13 activations. All your guns hit like a truck.
Mm-hmm.
You've got crazy movement. You've got all these pre-game dashes, pre-round dashes. Um, you have absolutely bonkers grenades. Um, yeah, I mean, this. I think we're gonna keep seeing Pathfinders do very well, and Pathfinders are still probably gonna feel unfair to a lot of teams
Mm-hmm.
to play against. So yeah, I think they're S plus plus.
All right, so the next team we have up here is a White Dwarf team, and that is the Wormblade.
Ooh,
So you're,
Wormblade. Yeah.
yeah, you're a fan of the Wormblade. A lot of people, uh, a lot of top kill team players are big fans of the Wormblade. Um, where do you think they rank right now? Do you think that they're S? Because I kind of want to put them at S. They're
Yeah.
they're the
I Go ahead.
what is it? The rerolls to hit ability every time they change their order.
Yeah, whenever they switch to engage, it's call to
Right.
ambush. It's if this was a tier list for the whatever like best teams on turn one, then they'd be the best easily. They're
Yeah.
so good on turn one. They have the best turn one in the game.
Yep.
Um, but and I've played a lot of Wormblade lately. I'm actually kind of burnt on Wormblade. I don't even want to talk about them. But the reality is they are very good. I think that they are in the archetype of those Vekard,
Yeah.
Pathfinder. They're a shooty horde,
Yeah.
and with that, 10 to 11 activations, and just the shooting capabilities, and the fact they can come in from hiding, and there's just a lot of interesting play with Wormblade. It took take me a lot of Wormblade games to finally start to get a little bit burnt out because they're engaging to play, and I enjoy that about them.
Hmm.
Um, I think you can take them to a tournament and win. Um, it's a little bit uphill because I think you are a step behind those the Vanguard and the Pathfinders and the Novitiates. Um, I do agree with you that they're S tier.
Yeah. You don't think that they're a
Uh,
step? I think that they're a step ahead of Warp Coven.
yeah, I'd say it's close, but I think that Wormblade are better.
All right.
Um, they're just they're really good. If you can't get a huge turn one off against a team like Vanguard or Pathfinders with Wormblade, you're probably not going to win.
Yeah. All right. So next up, we have got the newest kill team, and that is the Void Dancers.
Yeah, yeah, we were gonna have to get to this one eventually.
Yeah. So
So yeah, you want to start?
yeah, sure. I've been playing the Void Dancers recently. I think they're good. I don't think they're S tier. I don't think they need to be
Well,
nerfed.
you don't think they're S
Or
plus plus
excuse me,
or
yeah, I don't think they're S plus plus tier. I don't
okay?
think they're dominating the meta. Um, I just don't see it. The team is good. The team does have good matchups against shooty hordes. Okay, I will say that in most cases. But
Yeah, somewhat. Yeah.
yeah,
Well, you
y-
know,
yeah,
I there's a lot of like freaking out about this team right now. Kind of like when people are freaking out about Pathfinders, rightfully so,
yeah,
and when people are freaking out about Talons pre-nerf, rightfully so. This is not one of those situations, and I
absolutely
understand that
not.
they are. The past couple of weeks we've seen some really really good placements from Void Dancers at tournaments. They've won quite a few tournaments, and it almost looks like that, like that Pathfinder domination and that Talons domination. But honestly, I don't think it's one of those situations.
Yeah,
They are good. They're really good. I would put them above Wormblade. I don't think they're on the same level as those top three, assuming that it's equal skill players.
yeah,
I think if you're playing Void Dancers and you're up against a Pathfinder player, and you're both really good, really skilled players, and you're playing on equal footing, I think the Pathfinder player should win. And I feel the same about Novitiates and Vekguard. Although Novitiates, I think, is one that that might be a tough matchup for Novitiates. They might have an edge there.
yeah,
Personally, I think it balances out by the fact that I think Wormblade have a really good matchup into Void Dancers, generally speaking. I still would put them above Wormblade. I think they're the fourth best team in the game right now, but I think people need to pump the brakes a little bit on the Harlequin hype, because at the end of the day, the 8 activations. It's hard to play against some of these big shooty hordes still. That
yeah,
that has not changed, and they have actually gotten worse against elite teams.
yeah. They bounce
They
off MEQs.
Yeah, it's there's not a lot of great players running elite teams right now. You're just not seeing it. We might see it now that Legion is out. Maybe some more good players are going to start running Legionnaires and stuff like that. But I don't think they exactly do amazingly against those teams. Yeah, I don't know. Last week I was in a tournament on TTS on the Killzone Discord, and I'm playing Space Marines in that tournament, like actual Compendium Space Marines, and I ran Assault Intercessors against a pretty good Void Dancer player,
Mm-hmm.
uh, and I won. I beat him.
Yeah.
This is extremely anecdotal. This is not what I'm basing my ranking on, but I just like I don't know.
No,
They're
but
not world
yeah,
beaters
you
the way
bring
some people are treating them.
you bring up a fair point. For me, it's just the lack of like AP weapons that they have.
Mhm.
AP is king in this game, so is rolling crits. And they can get lucky with crits sometimes, but you only got a single fusion pistol. That's
Triple
really
fusion was really good.
triple. Yeah, like if they had kept triple fusion, I would be like, yeah, they probably need a nerf. They probably shouldn't have three fusion pistols, but they don't. So here we are. Top of
Yeah, I
top of
would
S
not
tier.
nerf. Yeah, I would not be nerfing them right
No,
now.
there are other teams that should be getting looked at first. Fat guard. Next up we have got the Void Scarred. So you've been
Okay.
running the Void Scarred a little bit, right?
Yeah, yeah. I was messing around with them right when they came out, and I guess this is kind of another hot take, back to back. So I think a lot of people really want to make them work, and there's not really anybody like raving about them, to be fair. Uh, but they're like the shiny new toy. I think people really want them to be good. I think that they are the worst bespoke team
Ooh,
pretty easily. I honestly, I don't see it. 9 models, I think, is needlessly restrictive. 1 gunner, I think, is needlessly restrictive.
yeah,
Um, there's just too much melee on this team. This team does not want as much melee as it has. Um, when you look at them next to Void Dancers and they've only got 1 more model, I don't know.
yeah.
I don't really know what they're that good at. They're fast,
That's
but,
about it.
like, they're not that much faster than some of these other teams. Like, and being fast is really only important in certain situations. Sometimes you don't need to be fast. The first round is important,
Mm-hmm.
but like, you know, I would much rather have something like a Montka that Pathfinders have, where 1 turn in the game they can get a free dash, but like overall the team is a lot better than what the Corsairs get. They're fun. I think they have an amazing psyker,
Yeah,
but I just don't see them as being a really dominant team. And I think they are. I think they're worse than Hunter Clade, who gets way more crap from people in the community.
yeah. I think the team
Yeah.
is like needlessly restricted. Like, why
Yeah.
should you have to choose between both gunners? Whereas you look at Vetguard and it's like the only thing stopping you from running everything is that you have too many
Yeah.
specialists.
Yeah.
It's like, what? Why? Like, um,
So I would put them in B tier.
top of.
All that being said,
Do you think they're better than demons?
I mean, I let's give them the benefit of the doubt
Yeah,
and
right.
say yes. But
Yeah, because
if
they
I'm playing
are a
demons in a
bespoke
tournament,
team.
yeah. But if I'm playing demons in a tournament and I'm up against Corsairs,
You're
I'm kind of like,
you're not scared.
phew, whew. Like, could have been a lot worse than that. Um, but yeah, let's put them above demons.
Sure, sure. All right. Next up we've got the Legionnaires.
Yeah, the other half of the Nachmund,
Mm-hmm.
and uh, they're an elite team. They've only got 6 models. I did just say that I think Corsairs are the worst bespoke team, so I guess that says I think they're better than Corsairs. But they're not they're not amazing. I think it's
No.
probably the second worst bespoke team if I'm being honest. I'd
Yeah.
rather have Clade than Legionnaires, but it's close. So I A tier, I
Yeah,
suppose.
bottom A. You think they're worse than Hunter Cadre? Or excuse me,
Hunter
Hunter
Clade.
Clade?
Yeah, narrowly. I think, you know, I don't think they're, I think I'd rather play Hunter Clade than Legionnaires if, like, I wanted to win and I was forced to play one of those teams.
Yeah.
Uh, they're, they definitely have a lot in their kit, and it's possible that maybe there is something that just hasn't been figured out where they're actually really, really good. I doubt it,
Yeah.
but there's a lot of debate going on about the marks and you know which specialist to take when. So
Mhm.
I would say they're A tier. They're definitely pretty good for an elite team. So
All right. So maybe pivoting to some not so great elite teams. We've got the Grey Knights. Um,
yeah,
they got
they
an
got buffed.
extra body, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
they did. They're at 6 models now.
Mhm.
Um,
Other than that, how do you think they're doing?
I mean, we were really crapped on Grey Knights in the past.
Oh yeah. That's like our second favorite thing to do on this channel is just
Yeah, it's
crap
up
all
there.
over Grey Knights.
And, I mean, the extra body helps a lot. They it's a shame for them that the bodies are 11 wounds.
Yeah.
So they're kind of like glass cannons. I mean, which is silly because they're an elite team. But in this game right now, there's so many killy things that can melt an 11 wound body. That I do kind of view them as glass cannons, which you shouldn't because there's only six. So overall, I don't think they're D tier anymore. Before, I think last tier list we did, they were like the second worst team. I wouldn't say that. Um, Probably C, probably like low C tier.
Low C. Beneath the Gene Stealer cults.
I don't know. Yeah,
Okay.
yes.
All right.
I
Sounds
really
good.
don't know.
Sounds good to me. Gene Stealer cults has more activation, so by default they win that. Um. All right. So next
Probably.
up we have got the Compendium Guard. Compendium Guard are pretty popular, I will say.
Yeah.
Um. Do you think that they are overhyped?
No,
Okay.
I think they're probably the best compendium team right now.
Mhm.
Actually,
Yeah, me too.
they're really easy to play. It's a like they're a worse version of Vet Guard, but
Mhm.
there's a lot less of a cognitive load. And I think that
Yeah.
they can actually compete with a lot of the top teams and bespoke teams and kind of go toe to toe. Maybe not be favored against the S pluses, but I think they're really good. I think like I think they're better than Void Scarred for
Yeah.
sure.
Do you think they're better than the Legionnaires?
Yeah, probably.
Okay.
I would say so. And I think they're really close with Clade.
Okay.
I kind of want to put them above Clade, but I could see the argument for putting them right below Clade.
Yeah. To me, I think a good Clade player beats a good Compendium Guard player. But that's just me, and that's because my experience with Hunter Clade is Micromancer runs them against me. So I just get blown out of the water. So we'll put them
Yeah,
under the
no.
Hunter Clade for now.
Okay.
Next up we got Advac. Just plain old
Wait,
Admech.
Forge World?
Oh yeah, excuse me,
Shadow
Forge World,
Realm.
Shadow
Put them in
Realm.
the
Put
Shadow
him in the
Realm.
Shadow Realm.
If yeah, that's a dead team. GW told us.
Yep.
They did say it.
So next is the Ecclesiarchy.
Ooh. Not a Shadow Realm team.
Nope.
Not even close to Shadow Realm. They're very different from Novitiates, but
Mm-hmm.
uh I think they've kind of gotten worse too. I don't think they like seeing more elite teams in the meta, personally. Um, but I don't know. I've lowered on them a bit. I think other teams have gotten so you look at the teams that got buffed, like Craft World and Necron specifically.
Yeah.
I think really jump above them,
Okay.
and I think maybe you could say Grey Knights jump above them. Not that I think it's an amazing matchup for Grey Knights, but I
So
would say D tier for Ecclesiarchy.
D tier above the
No,
Kroot.
yeah, above the crew for sure,
Yeah.
easily.
Um. Okay. Next, we've got the Talons of the Emperor.
Ooh,
So, used to be the big boogeyman,
yep.
and oh, how they have fallen. Um,
Uh, you know, I think they get too much crap too because I think they're still okay.
yeah.
Like I've seen some people say they're like a C tier team or something, and that's too much for me.
I think
They're probably not where they once were.
no, definitely not. But I mean, I think people are just low on them because people stopped playing them because they're just not as good as they once were anymore.
Yeah, they're not completely
happens
broken.
happens all the time. Yeah.
I think they're relatively balanced right now,
Yeah.
actually.
So probably A or
I think A.
B? A?
I think low A.
Low A? Lower
I think that
than
yeah,
Legionnaires?
I
Definitely lower than Compendium Guard, because you said that.
yeah, let's say lower than Legionnaires.
Okay.
Let's put them right below. I'll tell you what, they're better than Corsairs. And if anybody doesn't believe me on that, go find somebody that plays Talons in your meta that's like, I don't know, this is really specific. But if you can find somebody, go on TTS or something, like another good player, like your skill level, and play Corsairs versus Talons. Tell me how much fun you have with Corsairs, because that's a terrible matchup. I've played it.
I can hear the salt.
I it's not really salt because I've played Talons in that matchup against pretty good Corsair
Oh, okay.
players, and that matchup feels unfair for Corsairs.
They
Um,
just bounce.
it's yeah, there's just only so many ways you can do damage to them.
Yeah.
Um, yeah,
Okay, so next we have got the Trader Astartes.
yeah. So,
They're pretty they're
verging on Shadow Realm for me.
yes. Yeah.
If you're playing Trader Space Marines, you're playing cultists, and why? Right? Like
Yeah. Yeah.
that's the only
There's
reason you're gotta be
yeah.
playing cultists, right?
There's I don't
So
think there's a single matchup in which I would want to play Cultist
yeah,
in
and
this
then the
game.
other thing the other thing that was keeping them relevant was 6 Marines, and now every
Yeah.
elite team has 6 Marines,
Yep.
so what does this team do now? So, like, they are basically irrelevant. They're not in the Shadow Realm
Yeah.
because GW didn't tell us to put them there, but they may as well be.
Yeah, I'm saying
They're
F
better
tier.
than I wouldn't say F tier, I think they're better than Crew.
Oh,
So,
yeah,
like,
that's fair.
probably probably I'd rather have Ecclesiarchy for sure, but
Okay.
I would say above Crute, and that's it.
All right. Next, we've got a team that I kind of like. I kind of like. They have some tough matchups, but they're really durable, and that is the Death Guard. So,
I think of all the teams that got buffed, I think Death Guard likes the buffs the most.
ooh, okay. Explain.
6 Plague Marines is really, really good.
Yeah.
It's really good. I don't think people realize how good it is. Um, I think that's one of the most slept on things in the game right now. It's just so many it's so many wounds. It's to chew
Yeah.
through. It's hard to even factor it because you have to factor the icon. So it's not just disgustingly resilient. It's not just 6 models with effectively 18 wounds because it's like sometimes they're rerolling ones and twos on their disgustings.
Mhm.
Um, the extra model lets them use their plague bell a lot better,
Yeah.
so they can actually semi-reliably get 6-inch movement on turn one, and then after turn one, it doesn't really matter that much on a lot of missions.
Mhm.
I've always said that Death Guard aren't actually that slow because they're 3 APL, and it's yeah they're not 6-inch movement, but you can
Yeah,
move
you just
dash
move
and do
dash with
something.
them. Yeah.
So they're slower than other 3 APL teams, but relatively speaking, they're not that slow. And if you can actually, now that you have another guy to put a plague bell on, you can get that a little bit easier now than
Mhm.
before. Um, I think they're a problem for a lot of teams, and I seriously think there's an argument to be made that they might be better than Legionnaires. I don't know how ready I am to put them above Legionnaires, but I think it's really close.
That would be cruel. Um, but
It probably
I
would be.
I think you might be right.
Can we
Um,
really do that? Can we put Death Guard above Legionnaires?
I
I mean, the
I
when
don't
you're running
know.
Death Guard, I think with the 6 Plague Marines, and after this buff, I don't think there's much cause for Poxwalkers. It's like
Yeah,
you only
it's
get
like
like 2
why?
more activations,
Yeah,
3 more maybe. But like you've got one guy with a plague bell, you've got the icon, you've got, you know, another bolt gun guy and he's got virulent rounds, you might have a fighter, you're gonna have a gunner with a plasma, you're aspiring champ with a plasma pistol and a melee weapon. It's like all the models are different and it almost feels like a bespoke team. And there's
yeah,
a lot they're like I will say, unlike a lot of the other elite teams, and I think the same can be said for Legionnaires, uh, the they're not very easy to play. There's a lot of like auras and bubbles you need to be
yeah,
keeping in mind. So it's not like assault intercessors where you could just pick them up and it's like, or gray knights where it's really easy to pick them up and play them. Not to win, but to like play them.
yeah,
Um, they're not that easy to pick up and play, but I think if in the right hands, I think they might be really good. So I think they're A tier.
yeah.
What do you say?
Um, I think to be on the safe side, you know, I'd say let's put them underneath Legionnaires for now. Well, let's put a little asterisk. Okay.
Above Talons? What do you think?
Yeah.
Oh, that feels ugly,
It
but
it feels ugly, but it's Death Guard, and ugly is their
that's
thing.
true.
So
Yeah. All right. Sure. Let's put him above Talons.
yeah. All right. Next up we've got Thousand Suns,
Shadow Realm.
Shadow Realm,
That is
baby.
textbook.
Get him,
Textbook Shadow Realm.
get him out of here. All
I'm
right.
pretty sure the Shadow Realm was invented for that team. So
All right. Next up we have just your plain old Space Marines.
they got buffed.
They did get buffed.
So I mean I've been playing a little bit, Space Marines. Assault Intercessors are so fun.
Yeah.
They were fun before and now they're still fun with a
Mm-hmm.
6 body.
Mm-hmm.
I think they're better than Trader Space Marines and Kroot.
Okay. Yeah. So
But
so D.
this is Space Marines without Death Watch we're talking about, right?
Yeah. So actually, there's four different icons that I'm looking at here. There's Space Marines, then there's Tactical Marine and a Intercessor, and then there's a Scout, and then there's Death Watch.
Okay. So the one
So
that has 3,
yes.
ignore that.
Okay.
We're just not even gonna use it.
Shadow Realm,
So
baby.
the
No.
yeah, but the one where it's just the Tac Marine and the Intercessor,
Yeah.
so not Death Watch, not Scouts,
Mm-hmm.
I think it's better than Traders,
Okay.
probably worse than Ecclesiarchy,
Okay. Yeah, I think that's fair. I think
D tier.
that's a safe ranking. Yeah.
Yeah.
So next up we got Scouts.
Ooh,
Scouts, the lowliest infantry unit in Big 40K.
they're pretty good
Better
here.
than the big boys in Kill Team? What's this all about?
Yeah, 10 bodies. Shotguns are so good.
Shotguns? You can double up on
Those
rockets?
yeah, they're a cool team for sure. Cool factor, you'll get cool points for running Scouts. And they're better than most of the I think they're the best way to run Compendium Space Marines. But they're so limited. They have like no ploys. They have like 3
Oh,
ploys.
please. Yeah.
They have one strategic ploy that sucks. It's like it's the tactical one that nobody ever uses. Tactical precision.
Oh, yeah.
Um, and then they've got like equipment. Technically, they've got so you can. It's either really it's dispenser systems or crack grenades, whichever one you want to run. Because there's other options, but you're not going to run any of them.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, I think they're C tier. I think they're worse than Craft World, personally.
Okay.
Probably better than Brood Coven.
Ooh, okay.
Those shotguns are just gonna like
Yeah, the
shred
shotguns are
them.
so good.
Yeah.
What is the profile for a shotgun? It's hitting on twos, 3/3, right?
4-4
Oh, 4/4
hitting on twos.
for the
Yeah.
Space Marine shotguns. Okay.
Pretty crazy. Yeah.
That is, yeah, that is pretty crazy.
Yeah.
Last but certainly not least, we have the Death Watch. Death Watch, or
Oh, yeah.
yeah.
Um, so I think they're better than Grey Knights,
Okay, that's not saying
personally,
much.
because it's like they're both similar, right?
Yes.
Because it's 11 wounds, 6 bodies. But, the Death Watch, they've got access to storm shields. They've got access to, you can have 3 plasma on that team,
Mhm.
technically,
Mhm.
and a frag cannon, which is like somebody called it a diet plasma once, which I totally agree with that.
Yeah.
Um, I mean, you can go 3 plasmas. You can go okay, you can have a plasma gun, 2 plasma pistols, and 3 guys with crack grenades. That's pretty good.
That's an extremely lethal team.
Yeah, it
That is
is.
extremely lethal.
Mhm.
Um,
I don't hate them. I mean, I'd say D tier or C tier, sorry, C
yeah, definitely
above
not
Grey
definitely
Knights.
not D. Um, that is so lethal, Shane. Like
Oh, wow.
I'm uncomfortable putting them that low on C.
What I like is, like, you can do that setup and then move 2 of the like, play super conceal turn 1, and then move your plasma pistols up into, like, heavy cover on
Mhm.
different parts of the board. And then on turn 2, if you lose initiative and they kill one of those guys, you just only in death, and then he kills them back.
Yeah.
But if you win initiative, then, you just go anyway and do it the same way. Like, they can't really stop it too much, right?
Yeah.
So, like, every model and team is gonna have some form of really strong shooting, even if it's in 6-inch range, and, most of them are gonna have a power weapon or something.
Yeah, but you think they lose out to Brood Coven, you think they lose out to Scouts, you think they lose out to the Asuryani, to the Craft Worlds?
I think they definitely lose to Asuryani.
Okay.
Probably, yeah, yeah, I think they're worse than Scouts overall.
Yeah. It's the
And
11 wounds really is what it is.
Brood Coven, I mean, Brood Coven might be a better team, but I feel like there's more reason to play Death Watch than Brood Coven,
Yeah.
you know?
Okay, so yeah, this is it. This is the tier list as it stands. There are more teams in A and B than there are in C. I don't yeah, I don't know what to say to that.
Yeah.
Things are probably just skewed because we have an S plus and an S tier. Um,
And a Shadow
and a
Realm.
Shadow Realm, yeah. The only thing we were hung up on really was our Death Guard better than Legionnaires after the additional Marine added to
We're
the
gonna get some
team.
crap for that one. We're gonna get some crap for saying Void Dancers aren't the most OP thing of all time.
Sure.
But, this is the disclaimer part where we say, "This is just our opinion."
Yeah, this is our opinion. If your opinion differs or you agree with what we have here on the list, let us know down in the comments below. Is I want to see what you guys have to say about, the state of the meta right now. But yeah, this
Yeah.
is this is our tier list. So thank you guys for watching. Thank you for tuning in. If you like what we're doing, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Command Point also has a Patreon if you're interested in supporting us through there. Thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you all again in the next one.